Welcome to IMTS. My name is Kathy Webster, and you're watching IMTS TV. There is a lot to see at the show, and a lot of people ask, where should I start? Here are 2 tips to help you navigate IMTS. Number 1, know that IMTS is spread across 4 buildings, north, south, east, and west, all under one roof and linked by the Grand Concourse. Number 2, we group technologies into 10 categories called pavilions. The 10 pavilions help visitors compare similar technologies, products, and services. The East Building houses 4 pavilions, and our partner, Hanover Messe's 4 co-located shows on 2 levels. Level 2, open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On Level 3, open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The East Building houses a restaurant, a beer garden, and the IMTS store, where we'll be giving away an exclusive item from 1 to 4:30 p.m. while supplies last. The West Building houses the Additive Manufacturing Pavilion, the Tooling and Work Holding Pavilion, and AMT's Emerging Technology Center, focused on additive manufacturing. West Level 3 is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the West Level 3 Annex is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The North Building, open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., houses fabricating and lasers, gear generation, abrasive machining and sawing, and several special attractions. AMT's Emerging Technology Center focused on digital transformation, GIE Media's Today's Technology Center, Modern Machine Shop's Top Shops booth, SME's Smart Manufacturing Hub, and the Smart for Students Summit, located on Level 1. And finally, the South Building, open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., is home to the Metal Cutting Pavilion. For a full list of building hours, visit the About the Show tab on IMTS.com. And remember, download the IMTS mobile app to access your My Show planner, to find exhibitors, make your itinerary, and navigate from one exhibitor to another. Have some tips? Share yours with us using the hashtag IMTS2018. And now it's time to wake up with our IMTS TV host, Emily Barta, as Good Morning IMTS starts right now.
Wake up, IMTS. It's Tuesday, September 11th, 2018. And this is Good Morning IMTS. And now, live from the IMTS TV studio in Chicago, Illinois, here's your host, Emily Barta.
Well, good morning and welcome to day 2 of IMTS 2018, where dreamers and doers connect. I'm your host, Emily Barta, and this is Good Morning IMTS. Did you see that weather outside? It is a gorgeous, bright and sunny day with very blue skies here in Chicagoland. So if you haven't traveled here yet, it's a really great day to do so. And if you're here with us in Chicago already, well, get in that cab, get in that train, get on that shuttle bus, and get on down here to McCormick Place for day 2 of IMTS 2018. And did you hear the news? There are so many new things here at the show this year, including the all-new Hanover Messe USA. And I have Larry Turner here, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of Hanover Fairs USA, to tell us more. Now, Larry, you have rebranded the Industrial Automation trade shows co-located with IMTS 2016 into the Hanover Messe USA. Why did you go about this change?
Well, the time was really right, Emily. We started Hanover Messe 1947, so over 70 years ago. It was the beginning of our company, Deutsche Messe in Germany, and it's really an iconic industrial trade show, the largest in the world, and it's also the largest in the world showcasing Industry 4.0 and IIoT. And over the last 6 years of our exhibition here, we've grown our space by over 400%. So that was with the addition of new topic areas, the importance of IIoT and Industry 4.0. So it was really a recognition of, one, the importance of industrial manufacturing in the United States, the importance of IIoT and smart manufacturing in the United States to be able to support that direction for our exhibitors and attendees.
So not just a name change, but an entire rebrand to really signify the advancement and the importance of all of this.
It really is, and we started out in 2012 with just automation, and then 14 we added motion drive, and then 16 we added 3 new topics, which was COMVAC, which is compressed air technology, industrial supply, which is a subcontracting show, and then also surface technology, so surface finishing show. So it really ties all those industries together using the Industry 4.0 and IIoT technologies.
Well, and this year at IMTS 2018, Hanover Messe USA has 4 shows located in the East Building. Talk us through each of them.
Well, I mentioned them briefly. So in the Level 3 in the East Hall, the East Building, we have industrial or integrated automation, motion, and drives. So that's really a combination topic of both automation and our motion and drive topic. And that's on Level 3 completely, and then also on Level 2. And as a part of the Level 2 display, we'll talk a little bit in a while about Digital Factory, which is a portion of IAMD. Also in the second level, we have COMVAC, which is compressed air technology, surface finishing, and then also industrial supply.
All right. So tell us about the brand new Solutions Theater.
You know, it's worked out great. My team has done a great job pulling together the content. Yesterday we had Industry 4.0 meets IIoT, and that was, again, an extension of the same type of forum they do in Hanover in our digital factory. So we had wonderful speakers, we had great attendance throughout the entire day, and you always wonder, with it being a trade show and with other conferences in the building, are you going to get a lot of activity in an on-show forum? And we had wonderful coverage, and it's just, I think a large part of it is due to the fact that we had some very good topics and great speakers.
Well, and in fact, there is a different topic in the Hanover Messe Solutions Theater every single day. Presentations run anywhere short end from about 20 minutes up to ones that are a few hours. But more importantly, they're free.
They are.
To anybody who is attending IMTS or the Hanover Messe USA fairs.
Exactly. So on Tuesday, today, we have Meeting the Demands of IoT, sponsored by Bluetooth. And I do want to mention that our Industry 4.0 session yesterday was sponsored by SAP. Wednesday, we've got Intelligent Power Transmission and Fluid Power that's being put on by the VDMA, which is the German association, and that's sponsored by Fraunhofer and Discovery Partners International. Thursday, GE Ventures is sponsoring and presenting their outlook on the industrial industry and where the investment should go. Friday in the morning, the Industrial Internet Consortium has a presentation on IIoT in the morning. And the afternoon, we're doing a presentation on an overview of EMO 2019.
All right. And if you would like to check out any of these presentations, the Solutions Theater is located in the East Hall on Level 2. It's right in the middle of the expo floor. The booth number is 121847. Now, we talked about 2 new exhibit areas at Hanover Messe USA. So many new things at IMTS 2018, so you better get here quick. We've got the Digital Factory and the Industrial Energy Systems. What are these focused on?
Well, Digital Factory, if you think about it as enablement for Industry 4.0 or IIoT. So we have exhibitors like SAP, Microsoft, Dell, 4Cam, really with all technology, software and hardware to enable new technology within the factory. The energy topic is really focused on energy management and also ties into our automation portion of our trade show.
Okay. And then Hanover Messe USA also has 3 co-located conferences. We'll start with the first one, commonly referred to as GAMS, but the official name is Global Automation Manufacturing Summit. What's this about?
Well, this is the 4th year that we've done this. We've had GAMS with us ever since 2012, and the topics focus a little bit differently each year depending on what's happening in automation and IIoT, and it's really put together and managed for us by CFE Media. They've been a great partner for us. And this year, it's focusing on the security aspect of your IT infrastructure within an IoT environment. So we're looking forward to that. That's on Wednesday afternoon. Starts with a lunch at 11:30 and ends with a reception at the end of the day.
All right. What about the OPC Foundation Conference?
So the OPC Foundation, it's really, OPC is bringing together operational technology and information technology as a part of the standardization in the factory for IIoT. And they also have been selected for Industry 4.0 and how to integrate your machines to SAP.
All right. And then the third conference produced by Hanover Messe USA is called the Integrated Industries Conference. What's that about?
Well, we've got a couple of different tracks there, and our partner GIE Media is organizing that for us. And they've done a wonderful job putting together really industrial Internet of Things seems to be the big theme this year. So it's integrated within different areas of the factory, and how does it impact depending on what technologies you have in your factory floor.
All right, well, IMTS 2018 opened yesterday. So many new things. How did it go?
We had a great day yesterday. You know, it's always a question when you open up a new exhibit hall with that level 2 in the Lakeside building. And I think the IMTS team did it right. It opened a half hour earlier than upstairs. It's right off the registration area, so it's very easy to find. And we had great traffic both in level 2 and level 3 yesterday, as well as outstanding attendance to our Solutions Theater.
What kind of feedback did you get from the visitors or from the exhibitors or from the conference speakers?
You know, the feedback from everybody was very positive. I think we've done a great job pulling together the right content, the right exhibitors. The attendees have been very happy with what they've seen. A lot of conversations in booths. So so far it's been a great week. So I'm looking forward to the next 5 days.
So 5 days left of IMTS 2018. Thank goodness. Why should the visitors stop by the Hanover Messe Expo Hall, the Solutions Theater, attend the conferences? Why is this valuable?
You know, if we look at our topics in our area in the Lakeside building, it's kind of an enabling technology for everything else going on in the factory. So the automation and the motion drive, it's pertinent within OEM product or also within the factory floor from a maintenance, operations, repair, or even automation of the plant floor. So what works out really well with IMTS is there's such a strong complement between the two shows, between the technologies that we show. Many of our automation and motion drive companies in our area, they have customers in the north and south buildings. So it's a great mix just within the partnership of IMTS.
So plan your calendar. There's only 5 days left. I know it sounds like a lot, but once you get here to IMTS 2018, you realize it really isn't, because we have taken over the whole of McCormick Place. Be sure to add a trip to Hanover Messe USA, the Expo Hall, the Solutions Theater, and the conferences. All can be found in the East Building on both Level 2 and Level 3, and we heard about it first from Larry Turner, who is the President and the Chief Executive Officer of Hanover Fairs USA. Hello there. Welcome to IMTS 2018. Did you know that there are conferences being held all across McCormick Place? In fact, the largest and the longest running is the IMTS conference. Hey, Bill, tell us more.
Well, visitors can choose either a 1-day or 4-day pass to attend the conference. What I think is cool about it is the level of expertise. There's no paid speakers. Everybody was chosen from the contracted exhibitor base. They put in abstracts and were reviewed. So it's real street-level information that visitors can take back to their businesses and implement right away.
So we'll see you at the IMTS conference happening Monday through Thursday in the West Building.
I'm Hannah Coombs with IMTS TV, and I'm here at AMT's Emerging Technology Center dedicated to digitalization with Dan Bagley, Chief Architect at Athena. Dan, please tell us a little bit about Athena. This is a revolutionary piece of technology. What is it, and what can people expect to see?
You know, Hannah, so much has been done with automation. What we're doing now is supporting the work that people do in the shop environment. Athena is a breakthrough because it allows people to operate across control platforms through all kinds of different types of machines and to interact as if they were a human. The goal of Athena is really to bring knowledge to the workers and to enable what they do every day and help make them more powerful in the workplace.
Great. And what would you say was the original intended use of Athena? Has it accomplished that? Has that evolved?
So we have been on such a whirlwind journey for the last 12 months. That's why I'm sort of wistful about it, I think. The original idea really blended two different worlds. It blended the world of artificial intelligence, digitization of knowledge, with the machine tool world, the production shop world. And so we're imagining and have been imagining a world where a person could move from one brand of machine to another seamlessly, be cross-trained, their knowledge increased, information presented to them. We're going to outline during the course of the show capabilities like coaching, where you could ask a machine how to perform an operation if you perhaps didn't remember. It has the ability to learn, but we're programming in such a way that it is not artificial intelligence, it's an intelligent assistant, so it's all about the people instead of being all about the automation.
Now, would you say Athena is she more geared towards a high volume production cycle, or is this something that can be more adapted to a low volume process?
A really great question. First, Athena's not a she. Athena is knowledge. We took that brilliant analogy from mythology, all that wisdom, all that support of people that are competitive, and that's where really the Athena concept came from. There are what I call the masters of metal in both production worlds and job shop worlds. So in both worlds, the Athena interaction concept can support a worker who has to operate one machine or a cell of machines or many of the same type of machine. The 10 functions that we'll outline here, and I'll just mention 4. First, reports, so information you might want from the machine. Controls, things you might want the machine to do. Coaching, how do I check coolant level? And the last we're really excited about, called calculate. Tell me about the CPK. Tell me about the process of the machinery that I am actually operating and how well that's running. So Athena is not about size or scale. It's about empowering a person in the same way that these technologies have been used to help surgeons, pilots, other highly technical workers. We really haven't seen that emergence in our industry yet. And so today, we're really proud to have that here.
Now, Athena has some collaboration built into it. Tell me a little bit about the companies that you're partnering with and who's been involved in this process.
So in order for the concept to really take root, you need the enthusiasm of machine builders, machine tool distributors, the key components really in the machinery industry for shops. So we have Methods Machinery displaying Athena operating a robo-drill, a FANUC robo-drill. We have OKK Corporation displaying Athena on a 5-axis mill. We have Makino, the real first mover with Athena, with I think 6 operating machines, really a dramatic display and a really great technical overview, as well as the Emerging Technology Center presence on the DMG. So we're just really so excited to be among all these kinds of partners.
Absolutely. And this is Dan Bragley. This is the Chief Architect with Athena. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Hannah Coombs with IMTS TV.
Hello there. Welcome to IMTS 2018. Did you know that there are conferences being held all around McCormick Place, including 3 produced by Hanover Messe USA? The first one is called the Global Automation and Manufacturing Summit. Bill, what's this about?
Well, it's got a heavy emphasis on robotics, cybersecurity, Industry 4.0, kind of showing people how factories are increasingly connected and automated in today's workplace.
The second conference produced by Hanover Messe USA is called Integrated Industries Conference. What's this one about?
It's the technical extension of what you're seeing in their show floor, the different segments that are on display within the Hanover floor. Convac, surface technology, fluid power, Industry 4.0, motion drive, all those things are coming to life inside of the conference for a little bit more of a technical deep dive.
And the third conference produced by Hanover Messe USA is called the Opc Foundation Conference. What will we learn here?
The OPC standard is similar to AMT's MT Connect standard. It's a common measuring point for manufacturing technology, extracting data in a common way. It's heavily based in Europe. This one's coming to IMTS to share with all of our visitors to the show.
So we'll see you at these conferences produced by Hanover Messe USA. All are located in the West Building. On tap for today are numerous activities and events happening throughout McCormick Place. On the main stage in the Grand Concourse at 9:30 a.m., Tracy Frost, who is the director of the U.S. Department of Defense Manufacturing Technology Program, and Mike Berg, who is the executive producer of the Science and Innovation Awards inspired by Manufacturing USA, will talk to you about rolling out the red carpet for America's young innovators. And at noon on the main stage in the Grand Concourse, envision the future with making chips. Jason, Jim, and a panel of experts will talk about what's on the manufacturing horizon in areas such as workforce, automation, technological innovations, and domestic plus global political regulations. Today's topic at the Hanover Messe Solutions Theater is meeting the demands of IIoT through wireless, apps, and automated quality control. Be sure to participate in these presentations that are free to all Hanover Messe and IMTS attendees in booth 12847, located on level 2 of the East Building. And there are 3 conferences happening today at IMTS 2018. The longest running and the largest conference is the IMTS Conference, jointly produced by AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology, and GIE Media. This technical deep dive offers more than 70 sessions presented by subject matter experts from within the IMTS exhibitor community. The Integrated Industries Conference offers a perfect platform to preview and discuss the most comprehensive demonstration of trending advanced manufacturing technologies and topics from around the globe. So if you want to introduce Industry 4.0 to the factory floor, check out the Integrated Industries Conference in the West Building, room 196A, B, and C. The Additive Manufacturing Conference is the first and only conference focused exclusively on additive technologies for industrial part production. This event includes technical sessions, business networking, receptions, and sponsor displays in the West Building, room W375, C and D. And not to worry, there is still time to register for all of the conferences happening today at IMTS 2018. Just be sure to visit imts.com for more information, dates, times, places, and how to register. Presented by GIE Media, the Today's Technology Center displays the end results of the latest manufacturing technology in the motor vehicle, aerospace, and medical industries. Attendees will get an up-close look into a 2018 Jeep Wrangler, the 2019 Ram 1500, and a full-size fuselage mock-up of the One Aviation's Eclipse 550 Very Light Jet, as well as state-of-the-art medical devices and equipment. Be sure to visit Today's Technology Center, located in the entrance to the North Building in booth 236900. And if you would like more information on these or any other attractions happening at IMTS 2018, just be sure to visit imts.com. IMTS Shorts are a short look into tips and tools that you can use to guide you through the expo floors and enhance your experience at IMTS 2018. In today's episode, Katie Carey talks to us about transportation options on the go.
There are many ways to get to IMTS. Here are some helpful tips to keep you on track and to help you make the most of your visit. Complimentary shuttle service is provided to and from all IMTS official hotels. Shuttle pickup and drop-off areas are located in the lower levels of the south and east buildings. Be sure to check your hotel lobby for the most up-to-date information. If you'd prefer to take a taxi or an available rideshare service, head to Gate 4, the main entrance to McCormick Place near the Hyatt, and follow the signs for your pickup location. McCormick Place is also connected to the city via both city bus and elevated train or L train. You'll find the Green Line stop just 2 blocks from the West Building. And on level 2.5 of the Grand Concourse in the South Building, the Metro provides direct service to and from downtown in just 7 minutes. For a complete list of transportation options on the go, download the IMTS mobile app from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Make sure to enable notifications to receive the most up-to-date show info.
The MT Connect standard is a free communication standard for the connected shop floor, widely used by manufacturers of all sizes. And this year, MT Connect has a presence in the Student Summit. Jules McGuire spoke to the managing director of the MT Connect Institute, Russ Waddell, to find out more.
Hi, I'm Jules with IMTS TV. I'm here with Russ Waddell of the MT Connect Institute today. Hi, Russ.
Hey, Jules.
What are you doing in the Student Summit this year?
What am I not doing in the Student Summit this year? We've got an MT Connect demo that's staffed by the MT Connect Institute staff this time. We're actually machining some parts on a little desktop 5-axis and streaming data off of that to the big screens you see behind us with the actual MT Connect streaming data. So it's as raw as it gets.
Wow, that's awesome. So if people want to see a demo, they can come down to the booth.
That's right. We'll be in the booth. We'll be in the booth the whole week and come down, check it out, see the machining, see what it looks like to actually stream some data and get a sense of what's going on behind the scenes. Upstairs, you can see kind of everything that's fully fleshed out, fully commercial or ready to buy. Down here, it's just the bare bones, really, is what we're trying to demonstrate, is what's the in-betweens piece look like that's actually MT Connect, and what are you actually looking at when you see just the MT Connect data.
Is there an opportunity for anyone to listen to some presentations or any type of formal sit down where they can hear about the standard?
There's a couple different places on the conference path, and there's also learning labs every single day down here at 11 and 11:30 in the orientation theater. So if you want to get MT Connect Basics 1 and MT Connect Basics 2, those are back-to-back in the orientation theater every day, 11 to 12 o'clock.
Excellent. Now, is there a type of formal education that people that can't make the learning labs can have access to so they can learn about the standard?
We've tried to make everything that we're doing as accessible as possible, so there's going to be formal education modules released later this fall. There's quite a bit of information on mtconnect.org, the website. There's a bunch of stuff out there. We try not to hoard it all for just at the orientation theater, and there's a bunch of other people you can talk to that have MT Connect labeled on their booth somewhere upstairs that you can check them out too.
So tell me about your approach with being present in the Student Summit this year, because MT Connect standard is present in so many devices and pieces of equipment throughout the whole show. What's your reasoning for being down here this year?
Okay, that's a good point. It does apply to everyone at IMTS. We're in the Student Summit because we see a lot of potential to engage with students at the earliest possible point where they can get an understanding of how standards work, how digital manufacturing works, and see where things are going in the future. We think that the reaching out to students is important to kind of capture that next generation of manufacturing talent with a maybe different set of skills than what we're used to seeing historically at IMTS and in the manufacturing industry.
That's so cool. So a minute ago, you mentioned the MT Connect education modules. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. So those are aimed at professors, community college instructors, maybe individual companies as well that are trying to get a team of people up to speed on what to do with MT Connect. They've got a short timeline for when they want to get going, and they don't really want to have to do a bunch of calls and find a bunch of folks to walk them through one thing at a time. They just want a big chunk of education all together. That's really the target audience for those.
That's so awesome. So is there anything else in the works for the MT Connect Institute that we need to know about?
Version 1.4 is out now. We're recruiting for the standards committee. It's free to join, free to participate. You get access to the pre-release standard documents, and you get to vote on new content going into the standard. 1.5 will be out at the beginning of next year, and that's what we're actively working on now.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been Russ Waddell of the MT Connect Institute, and I'm Jules McGuire with IMTS TV.
Thank you for joining us for Good Morning IMTS on Day 2 of IMTS 2018. Be sure to tune in to IMTS TV online at imts.tv, where we are streaming content all day long with new content added every single day. On the IMTS report today at 4 p.m., we will be recapping the day's events, as well as speaking with Jay Rogers from Local Motors about the IMTS ride experience. But first, coming up next is Shop Talk, where Bill Herman speaks with Derek Korn, the executive editor of Modern Machine Shops, about Top Shops, which is Modern Machine Shops' Top Shops benchmarking survey, the physical extension of which is here at IMTS 2018. On behalf of everyone here at IMTS TV, have a wonderful Day 2 of IMTS 2018, where dreamers and doers connect.
Welcome to Shop Talk. Our guest today is Derek Korn, executive editor of Machine Shop magazine. And Derek, we've been hearing a lot about Top Shops, the benchmarking survey in Modern Machine Shop. And I know that on Thursday of this week, you'll be presenting the Top Shop conference. How do you define a top shop?
How do I define a top shop? Great question. Actually, first, it didn't seem like we'd done this like 2 years ago. We're back. Okay, so top shops. That is what we refer to as our annual benchmarking survey that we offer to our readers. We're actually on our 8th edition of that. What we do is we ask questions related not just about machining technology and shop floor practices, but we ask about business strategies, human resources, workforce development issues. That enables the shops that are participating in the survey to kind of see where they rank in terms of metrics like spindle utilization, profit margin, but they can also see what technologies leading shops are applying these days. So maybe they're seeing that shops are using more Swiss types and they need to think about multitasking more. But there's also there's an honors program that we can get into later if you like, where we break down winners in each of the 4 main categories. But real quick, just so a top shops benchmarking group, we define that as we assign point values to certain survey questions, and we do a tally at the end for each question. And basically, the top 20% responding, that's our top shops, right? So that enables us to kind of follow trends. So you can see what top shops are leveraging technology-wise, metric-wise. So it's been tremendously helpful to me as a writer, because I can see these are the technologies that the leading shops are using. This is what I need to be writing about.
Well, let's stay on that topic. When you talk about technologies, from what you're seeing in these trends, from the response to your surveys, what are these top shops using in terms of equipment? Are you seeing a difference?
What I'm seeing, and this has been a trend throughout, is, as you might expect, successful shops are willing to invest more in higher end equipment. A good example is 5-axis machining. It's fun to me to come to IMTS and you go into a machine tool builder's booth that has 5-axis equipment, and you see an impeller a lot of times contoured, and you have the spindle, and they're all 5 axes are moving simultaneously in this little sexy little dance. And that's well and good, because it might be that you need that simultaneous movement to make those tough contoured cuts. But I would say, I'm going to guess 70% of the 5-axis machines out there today are just positioning in 5 axes, or 3+2 as they call it. And the advantage of that is you set that part up once and you're able to machine on this face, so you can access 5 faces of that part in one setup, compared to a standard VMC, let's say, where you might have to flip that 3 or 4 times to access all that part.
Now,
well, and sorry,
sure.
so 5-axis is one, horizontal machining centers as well. Costlier than a VMC for sure, but we've written about shops that have, they say they get the production that they would have gotten from 3 VMCs out of the 1 HMC. So, but not only does the machine costlier, you got to think about tooling too. So you're going from a VMC that might have 30 station tool changer, right? And now you're talking 60, 90, 120, 180. So think about the cost and just the cutters, the tool holder bodies. You've got work holding too, right? So if you want to maximize the potential of that horizontal machine with the pallet changer, so you've got tombstones you got to think about, different types of work holding that you might have to get if that's your first HMC. Think about if you're adding a flexible manufacturing system and you've got just oodles of pallets that you have to tool up. So the cost is higher with the machine and just tooling it up, but the value is you can just let that run 24/7. Work in hot jobs when you need to, way easier than if you just had a standalone VMC.
Now, for our folks that might be watching that are interested in enlisting and enrolling with the Top Shops survey, from what you just talked about with the investment in equipment, does that mean that Top Shops are solely the exclusive property of those companies that have a lot of money, or are you grading companies even on a smaller scale based on business practices and other things?
Yeah, so it would be unfair to say, okay, this shop has all of these turn mill machines, and they've got Swiss types, and they've got horizontals. That's all well and good if they're taking advantage of that. But you could have we'll say more straightforward machines. Maybe you just have VMCs, maybe you just have lathes. So when we determine the top shops, we determine business strategies and human resources as part of that too. Because yeah, you could have all that fancy equipment, but if your profit margin is next to nothing, how are you a top business? How are you a top shop?
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Now, you also talked about flexible manufacturing cells and the pallets and all that. What about automation? Are you seeing more applications of automation, regardless of size of company? Are you seeing more applications of automation in the shops that you're visiting?
Yeah, so that's why I loved coming to IMTS. You see more robots every year, right? You can hardly throw a stone in a South building without hitting one, right? So robots is kind of the first thing you think of with automation. And yeah, so we are seeing more top shops using robots for machine tending than some of the other shops. But the big trend is collaborative robots, right? So you have the traditional robot and it's in a cage and it's fast and it's moving, but you can't approach it. A human can't approach it. Collaborative robots, some of them use sensor technology like in their arms. So if an operator or if it bumps into an operator or if it bumps into a fixture, a part unexpectedly, it's going to stop immediately. So there's no damage to the part, no harm to the human, right?
Yeah.
Other technologies use scanning areas, so they can detect when a human gets close. The robot might slow down a little bit and get a little closer, and it's going to stop completely. So there's no chance of being injured. Even gripper technology is being developed specifically for cobots. That's really where the damage can happen, right? It's not so much the arm, it's what if you're holding a part that's got a nice little burr on it and they come back and slice somebody. So there's grippers specifically for the cobots that are being developed, and you'll see those at the show as well. The downside to some of these cobots, they're slower generally. The payload capacity is nowhere near some of the more traditional robots, but they do offer the chance to deploy from machine to machine. So if you're a job shop and you have a part run of 50, right? So you can set that robot up in front of that, have it tend that machine. Once that batch is done, you deploy it to somebody else, some other machine, right? So it can do the small batch stuff. Robotics doesn't need to be high volume anymore, especially when you're using the cobots.
Would you limit automation solely to a conversation about robotics, or are you seeing increased communication throughout the floors?
Yeah, so so as I mentioned, you first think automation, you think robots, right? Yeah. There are so many other elements of automation that a shop can use, and that you'll see here at the show. 5-axis machining is automation, right? So you've got a 3-axis machine, and you've got to have a person manually flip parts or move from one machine to another machine, where that 5-axis, you set it up once, and it's doing the flipping for you. So that's automation. Presetters, right? You could manually measure tools when you're setting up a job. You could do it offline on a presetter, so that presetter is automatically measuring that. So you don't have to worry about it. And there's no chance of fat fingering in the wrong data, wrong cutting dimensions for that tool. Even on-machine probing. So you set up a part, instead of kind of wiggling just to get it right, you just take your touch trigger probe and you identify right where that part is, and then the CNC will automatically adjust the coordinate system to match that, so you don't have to worry about that.
Speaking of probing, as in terms of inspection and part inspection, are you seeing the top shops that you're visiting using more advanced inspection equipment?
So yes, with the advanced, right? So you see a lot, as I'm visiting shops, which I do quite a bit for the magazine, you see a lot of shop floor CMMs now. You see the measurement arms. So it's not so much just the hand gauges anymore. It's more sophisticated technology being applied. But what's interesting, so unattended robotics, right? Everyone's thinking about lights out machining, and how great is it to you shut down a first shift or second shift, and you've loaded up a machine and it's going to run all night, right? And you come in the next morning, you flip on the lights, and you've got hundreds, maybe thousands of parts. That's awesome, right? The bottleneck is you got to sort those parts, you got to inspect those parts. So inspection becomes a bottleneck. So maybe it's not the technology, it's just a capacity. You might need another CMM. You might need a special vision system that can enable you to more readily, more quickly inspect those parts. So like I said, it's great to come in and have all those parts, but you got to deal with them when you flip that switch on.
Now, staying along those same lines, when we talk about automation, this all kind of goes together, but we hear so much about Industry 4.0 and the industrial Internet of Things. What's your take on that? What are you seeing in terms of adoption, and where do you see it going?
Okay. This is where I slightly go rogue. I'm not going rogue. I'm not poo-pooing this whatsoever, because the promise is awesome. And there's many examples here at the show. But oftentimes it's presented from such a high level that if you're just getting into it, there's so much data that you can collect. Like, what's important to me? What should I be collecting? Am I collecting too much? So when I say I'm going rogue, for shops just considering this, think basic, right? Think machine monitoring. There's a great amount of value to just knowing, when is my machine cutting? When is it not cutting? When is it down for maintenance? When is it down because something of a collision happened, right? Even the presetters. Basic communication of tool measurement straight from the presetter to the control CNC. So if you're a shop and just getting into machine monitoring, think machine monitoring. So there's smart manufacturing and IoT and all these buzzwords, but talk practical. When you visit exhibitors, say, this is my situation, I want to get into it, how do I start small, and then build from there.
That's great advice, because I think a lot of people, when they think about automated manufacturing, they're hearing about the future, they get a little overwhelmed.
Right.
I'm a small shop, I can't do that. So taking that first step on that digital journey, I think is the hardest one sometimes,
right,
especially
exactly.
for a smaller shop.
Absolutely, yeah.
And especially from staffing as well. They don't always have a dedicated person. So if you're the chief cook and bottle washer, how can you begin to implement that?
You've already got enough balls in the air you're juggling, so that's
exactly.
one more. Yeah.
Very good. Of all the technology we've discussed, certainly it's out here on
shop floor, or the exhibit floor, I should say. I think of it as the world's largest shop
Yeah,
this
me
week.
too.
But out here on the exhibit floor, we could see everything that you've just talked about. Later this week, on Thursday of this week, you'll be presenting the Top Shops Conference, which is the extension of your benchmarking survey.
Right.
What can you tell us about the conference?
So, 2 new additions to our Top Shops program. This was last year. So in the past, as I mentioned, the benchmarking group, the 20% versus the 80%. What we've done is offered survey participants a generic executive summary, right? So we list responses in terms of the top 20%. This is what they score in spindle utilization. They're maybe 75%. Other shops at 80%, maybe they're down 60, all right? So you can kind of see leading shops, shops that aren't doing so well. Last year was the first year we offered custom reports for a shop. So they get a custom report that lists their responses and compares that to all other shops that were surveyed. And it also ranks them as an overall ranking, so they can see specifically what their values compare to with others. So that's one. We also had our Top Shops conference, our inaugural conference last year in Indianapolis. And so as you mentioned, the workshop here at IMTS is an extension of that. It's a one-day event. We're going to have very similar setup to the conference in Indy. We're going to have it's going to be a lot of shop peers. So panel discussions will be leading shop managers and owners talking about the technology, the processes, the strategies they use to become successful.
Can our visitors here attend?
Absolutely, yeah. So I wrote it on my card so I didn't forget. So it is Thursday the 13th. We're going to have it in the West Building, room number W375 D and E. That's the Skyline Ballroom. And what I'd like to do, if it's fine, is offer a discount code for our IMTS TV viewers. So if you go to the registration page at topshopsevent.com, you can enter Top Shop, all one word, in a discount code, so you can save a few bucks off of the show workshop.
That's perfect. We look forward to it, Derek. Thank you very much.
Our guest today has been Derek Korn, Executive Editor of Modern Machine Shop Magazine. For Shop Talk and IMTS TV, I'm Bill Herman.